All right, good morning and welcome back to TwinStick Garage. On today's episode, I'm going to stay laser focused on my 359 Peterbilt project that I've named Little by Little. Now, I've been working on this thing for a long time now. It's what started the channel. I originally started building it when I was outside. I didn't have this shop here and I was just out there sitting in the gravel. And it's kind of been in various stages of restoration, but it really needed paint. So about, well, probably a year ago now, I've taken all the chrome off and been doing the body work and trying to get this thing ready for paint. And I'm really excited now. Home stretch. I know I've been saying I've been real close on this for the last few episodes. I mean, for those that know the channel and know me, they know I have a day job. This is a hobby of mine and I only work on it one day a week. I grind all day long on Saturday, and then whatever I actually accomplish is what you see in the episode that you're watching now. So I'm actually going to get this thing into primer. I maybe, just maybe today, we'll see. I'm sure, hopeful. I mean, there's going to be a varying stages of primer and paint. So because of all the bare metal, I'm planning to do a etch primer, something that'll actually stick to the bare aluminum. And if I actually get at her today, I might be able to throw down some etch primer as a start and then kind of go from there and build up from there. But I'm really excited on this project. I mean, look at that color. Big sky Montana blue with a ton of pearl and a ton of metallic in there. It's just going to be gorgeous. So I can't wait. That's the end goal. I'm just going to keep on keeping on and see if I can actually get this thing into primer. We'll see. All right, so I figured I'd give a little update on what else is going on in the shop in the background. So as you can see here, I got the 6-speed transmission. This is the Spicer transmission out of the Peterbilt. The boys over at the gear center called me up and said, Mark, it's all ready to go, come and get it. So I've got, it's all been rebuilt. Now this transmission here was a real pain because when I would drive it, it would fall out of second gear. As soon as I take my foot off the gas, it would just dance itself into neutral, which was kind of tricky when you're driving with twin sticks. But the boys there replaced all the linkage and rebuilt everything, and it's just going to be like brand new. And I got a Eaton clutches and pressure plate that'll go in front of it, so that'll be in a future episode. I want to get the truck into paint before I throw this in there. So that's kind of the goal. Like I say, laser focused on the paint. And I've been collecting up a bunch of other goodies for the Bandit TransAM. So I got a Holly Sniper system, 2.0 system, fuel tank all the way forward to the front. Got pipes, exhaust, a whole exhaust system for the car, cold case radiator, Willwood brakes. I got some QA1 rear shocks. Now I am waiting on the Hotchkiss rear leaf springs and frame connectors. They're on back order, but again, it's okay because I'm still working on the Pete. I still got time to collect up all the goodies, but that's my plan, is to get everything I need. I got a painless wiring kit. So I'm gonna completely redo the wiring on the car, because if you leave the original wiring on these old cars, that's kind of can be a recipe for disaster. By leaving old frayed wiring, it can burn your car to the ground. So I'm gonna run all new wiring. Now my plan's gonna be is to weld in the little, cab corners, the back corners there, and then the back quarter panel. Blake's gonna help me with that, sand the car down. My daughter's helping me with that. And then eventually get this thing painted inside and out, and then I get to bolt on all the goodies. And the engine is just about finished up at Butler Performance down in Tennessee. I'm gonna head down there and pick all the engine and transmission up, and it's just gonna be great. I can't wait to get everything. So I'm gonna really lean into this car over the winter, because the missus is asking me, she's like, okay, I've been putting up with all your projects, when do I get my car? So through the winter, I'm gonna lean into that. And I need to do some more work on my cab over project, the Iron Duke. It's been, I kind of stalled out on it when I started working on the Pete. So my plan's gonna is to lean into the Iron Duke cab over project. I know all my patrons are probably just like, yes, finally. So I'll probably ping pong or alternate between the TransAM and the Iron Duke each week. So that's going to be the plan over the winter. But like I say, right now, let's get going on little by little. So as I mentioned, my daughter's been helping me with to sand down the TransAM, and she's been making great progress on the car. But when she started on the hood here to try and get this old dirty bird off the hood, it has just been baked on here for like 40 years, and it has become an integral part of the metal. It's been brutal. So she's been working on it with like a 60 grit on a DA, and it's still barely taking it off. So she's just been getting frustrated with the how slow it is or how long it takes to actually get the bird off. So my buddy Dallas says, Mark, why don't you try brake fluid? Because, I mean, brake fluid, you got to be careful with this stuff, and you don't want to get it on your paint, because as soon as you get any on your vehicle, it just starts bubbling right away. So he says maybe brake fluid will eat into this sticker. So I'm going to try a little bit of that. We'll try it in one spot here and see if that softens it up, because I've tried a lot of different chemicals on it already. I've tried the Doka disc, that Decal remover tool, and all it does is shine up the sticker. And so we'll give some brake fluid a try here and see if this works. So I'll just put some on in a little section here. Don't drip onto the ground. And I'll just try, like I say, try it in one spot and see if it takes it off. And if it does, then I'll come and just lay it on here, lay it on the whole hood, and see if it softens. But typically brake fluid, like I say, just makes paint just bubble. And I'm trying to get this down to bare metal. So maybe this will work. Now, brake fluid you need to be real careful with. You don't want to get it in your eyes. It would be a bad time. So always when you're messing around with brake fluid, wear your glasses and wear your gloves. Okay, so we'll let that sit and see what happens. All right, so this has been something that I've been meaning to do, is to fill in these holes here. So what I ended up doing in a previous episode was I drilled out a couple of these rivets. And so now I'm going to replace them with new pop rivets. And these are the special ones that I've highlighted in previous episodes that are actually designed to have a hole in the middle. And then I can just hit little mushroom caps in there, and then they're kind of imitation huck rivets. But they'll match, which is why I like them. There we go. Perfect. Imitation huck rivet. Awesome. See, these are the little things that I'm talking about that just take so much time, but they look good and it's worth it. Need a little bit of filler here. You keep going around the truck, you'll inevitably find more and more spots that need a little bit of fill. But I guess that's the difference between an average paint job and a great paint job, is putting in that little extra bit of effort. I had mentioned on a previous video that that some of the professional auto body guys that I see use these, I don't know what I'm doing. They use these mixers, and I probably should watch that video again. But the idea is you kind of use the two of them together to kind of mix it. And I'm probably not doing it justice, but everything comes with practice. I think I'm getting more on the floor than I'm getting on the... There it goes. Now it's starting to mix. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, right on. Okay, a little bit of fill here and there. And I always seem to inevitably make more than I need, but that's okay. There's lots of spots on the truck that still need a little bit of fill. Yeah, these are pretty slick. I just picked these up on Amazon, and I'm liking them better than the cheap plastic ones I usually use. There, while I wait for that Bondo to dry, let's see how the brake fluid is doing. Yeah. Not bad, but look, the sticker's still stuck on there. Man, I thought it would have just started bubbling the paint and that damn sticker. Yeah. Well, so maybe put another round on there, see what happens, but I don't know if that's going to work or not. Want to do that again. That was a lot of work. I only had like 8 inches left to go, whatever, 10 inches left to go, but that was I don't know what kind of paint that was, but it was sure on there. And trying to get in those concave dips, yeah, it almost makes me not want to restore another 359 Pete. But it's getting close now, a little bit more around some of the hucks. What I find is as tempting as it is to kind of do a little bit of work, and then sometimes the battery dies, or maybe I want to go somewhere else, it's better to actually finish it up, because inevitably before you paint the truck you're going to have to come back to the same spot. So if you're working on something, just stay there until it's finished and you're happy with it. And as the saying goes, when you think you're done sanding, sand just a little bit more. I was just taking a little coffee break and admiring my work, and I was thinking, I wonder if I should just mask that off, because it's aluminum, and have Stefan polish that up. That would sure look sharp, eh? Have that mirrored all the way up, and then mirror the grill. But then I'm looking here as well, and I noticed when I took the bug deflector off, there's a couple holes left over. And this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, that everywhere I look, there's just more to do. But I definitely want to put a couple of huck rivets in here, because obviously these will all get painted. So if I don't do it now, I'll have silver. If I put them in later, I'll have silver hucks, and then these guys will all be blue. So I'm going to put a couple of huck bolts in there, and maybe some larger ones, some 1/4 inch ones there. I'm pretty sure I can reach it from inside. If I put the hucks in and then tape them so they don't move, I should be able to reach all the way forward here with the gun and put those on there. But it's the difference between, like I say, a good paint job and a great paint job, because going around each one of the huck rivets and taking your time with these, cleaning them all up. I mean, I was on the hunt in a Patreon episode, and I went and looked at this beautiful 359 extended hood Pete, had a 3408, which I would love to swap this out for, but they're hard to find. And anyway, I noticed that whoever restored it just kind of half-assed sanded around the huck rivets. So this is what I'm trying to avoid, is, you know, excess paint and just kind of general bumpiness. I want to make sure that that is all smooth on mine. Oh yeah, and he didn't even peel off the paint there, and didn't really clean everything up, and you could tell. I mean, looking at it from a distance, it looked like a good paint job, but then you get close and you're like, oh yeah, no, they didn't put in full effort.
Maximum effort.
Man, having your own huck gun when you're doing a truck like this is just a must. I know they're ridiculously expensive, but they're so worth it, especially if you're doing, you know, more than one truck. But things like this, it's easy now. So I'll just grab a couple of 3/16 huck rivets. Now, I'm gonna, like I was saying, I'm gonna put a piece of tape over it. That way, when I go to put, if I can grab a collar here, when I go to put the collar on the other side, because I only have one hand, I'll barely be able to reach it. Push the collar on, and then I'll be able to reach the gun. And this gun, what it does is it stretches this out, and then compresses the collar and breaks it off. An absolute must, because now what would have been a tricky job to do is now easy peasy. Oh, take the collar off, Mark. Now in hindsight, if I was to do this again, I'd probably take the hood off, because it would be a lot easier to get at this type of stuff with the hood sitting on the floor. I can barely reach it. Oh, come on, Mark. Gotta do acrobatics to get in here. Okay, that should work. Beauty. That one fell off. Of course it did. Perfect. Now for these larger ones, the 1/4 inch, I just have to change the nose cone on the gun. So they got, obviously, just like a rivet gun, different diameters to grab different hucks. So I just have to swap this out to the larger 1/4 inch size. Doing huck rivets, I prefer to do them where I can get at them a little easier. Beautiful. Perfect. All right. Another job off the list. Oh, that was a bit of work. I had to bring out all kinds of different tools to get in the nooks and crannies. It's funny because it's just a small area, just the ring around the window there. But man, oh man, it was a lot of work. And I got a few scratches. I guess I'm learning here. So you've heard me mention how well brass wire wheels work for going around huck rivets. And they do. It's really the winner. But I found when I went in this edge here, I don't know if I was pushing too hard or maybe the old, where's the wire wheel? Maybe it was just too roughed up, and what it ended up doing was gouging the aluminum. So then I'm trying to, what's the best kind of work? Rework. So then I was trying to get the scratches out of there, and I was using different tools to try and get it cleaned up. I mean, you can always fix aluminum. It just takes time and effort. But with that, I think I'm going to go have a quick bite to eat, and then tackle the other door, do the exact same thing. What I always say is, what you do to one side, you always got to end up doing to the other. And then I also noticed here on the A-pillar is I still got to grind off these rivets and put some new ones in there. Need a little bit of fill there. I got a little aggressive with the grinder when I was in my dark garage putting this roof cap on. So I'll fill that and smooth that out. But I'll drill or grind these guys off, and then I'll do the same thing, the pop rivets with the little mushroom tips to make it match, because my OCD, well, I can't tolerate 4 that don't match the other 4 or 3. That turned out quite nice. Now there's still a little bit of rust here on the outside edge of the frame. So I'm just using some rust converter that I got from Princess Auto. Just want to make sure the rust kind of stops it and obviously doesn't come through my nice blue paint. So let's put a little bit of that on there. Oh, smells wonderful. All right, now a little bit of filler up there, and this side's almost done. Now the pack of spreaders I got includes these 2 little guys, which I think will be just perfect for trying to fit up underneath the roof cap. So same idea, just less filler this time, Mark. Maybe something like that. Now, some people are probably wondering what grit I've sanded everything down with. And so far, I've just been using a box, well, I'm on my second box now, of P100s. Now, it's a little rough, and I'm worried that the scratches might shine through. I mean, I am going to put, obviously, a couple coats of high build primer to try and fill in the scratches, but I'm trying to set myself up for as much success as possible. So I've actually got some 320s, and I just tested it out and did the door panel in 320, and I think that's going to work good. So now I got to go over the whole darn truck with 320. Oh, I keep saying at the start of every episode, oh, maybe today I'll get into primer. I mean, I'm being pretty delusional, I guess. But it's coming. It's coming. Home stretch now, I think. Once I get all these little repairs and all the little goofy spots around the door and in the nooks and crannies all touched up, then rub the whole thing down in 320, and I should be able to hang my tarp and paint primer. Maybe next week, maybe by next week's episode. I'm already into the afternoon today, so I have no illusions that I'm gonna get it primed this Saturday. Oh, I'm starting to wonder if I'm ever gonna finish this truck. So I went and sanded down the little patch that I did on the front fender there and cleaned that up. It turned out nice. But then I started sanding the fender, and I found some more spots, and it's just not as flat as I would like. So I'm gonna keep grinding here. So there. Just everywhere I look, there's still something that needs fixing. So here, I mean, it probably looks good on the camera, but I can feel the bumps. And if you can feel the bumps, you're gonna see the bumps. So I'm just gonna go right across, and then as I sand it down, the filler or the Bondo should go into the low spots. There, something like that. Fun. use for wire wheels. Cleaning your spreaders. Good as new. Wash, rinse, repeat. But I'm getting pretty happy with the smoothness of the fender. It's really starting to get there. And I know I've mentioned it lots of times, but the more effort you put in now, the happier you're going to be with the end product. And let that be a lesson to you viewers out there. When old TwinStick says, "Oh yeah, we're getting close," should be priming by the end of the episode. You can add at least 5 or 6 episodes onto that before I actually get to primer. Maybe next episode I'll get it into primer. I can't imagine there's that many more spots that I haven't tackled yet. So you never know. You never know. I want to do this one right. This truck was, like I say, my dream truck. And I don't want to, as they say, half-ass it. I think this is the right way to go. I mean, I was using that onion board, but I find these much quicker and easier to use. So get yourself a set of these. All right, let's go take a look at how the brake fluid is doing. Oh, I see some bubbling. I definitely see bubbling. That's a good sign. That's at least something. Oh yeah. Well, I was hoping it was just gonna scrape right off, but it definitely ate into the paint. So, word to the wise, keep brake fluid away from your Dirty Bird, but it's eating into it. I wonder, maybe what I'll do is, because if some is good, more is better, right? Maybe what I'll do is I'll put this inside. I'll find a spot for it, maybe over by Snowman. Just douse the whole thing with brake fluid and then let it soak in, because if it worked, if just doing it a day, if I leave it for a whole week, hopefully next Saturday I come out here and it'll just, it'll scrape off even better. And before you start typing a comment about, "Oh, Mark, why don't you just use a paint stripper?" Well, if you go back about 10 episodes, I swear the Canadian paint stripper is just junk. I don't know if it's diluted because they don't want to, because guys will just hose it off and then it'll go into the ground. I think they've really weakened Canadian paint stripper. Because I've got folks typing comments from Australia and the States, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I just put it on there and it took it right down to bare metal, no issues." I'm thinking, man, that would have sure been nice, because even when I did mine, it bubbled a little, and then I still had to sand it all down. So the paint stripper we have up here is just sissy junk. But I'm thinking this brake clean idea might work. So thank you, Dallas. I'll douse this whole thing down, soak her down, and then maybe my daughter can get the Dirty Bird off next Saturday. All right. Well, old TwinSticks is starting to run out of steam. Getting close to the end of the day, and yeah, I didn't quite get her done. I definitely tried, but like I was saying, there's probably not too many spots left. I fixed up some of the huck rivets and the rivet. Well, they weren't even huck rivets; they were standard rivets. A little more sanding. I figure maybe I'll come out here in the evenings and try and pick away at it. And with any luck, I'll be able to throw some primer on the next episode. So thanks for watching all the way to the end. As always, I appreciate all you guys watching all these videos and hanging with me with the relatively dull auto body portion of the build. But it's gonna get awfully cool, awfully quick. So thanks again. Appreciate you watching. Feel free to comment down below. See you next week, and don't ever forget, if you got it, Truckers brought it.